Mr. Ucko, good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. Just firstly, your at an overriding sense, what's your reaction? How you've been responding to these proposals by the government?
With great delight. We're very happy. It's long overdue and now not a moment too soon, but it is certainly a good move in the right direction for public health. And that essentially is what this is all about. It's about protecting people's right to clean air. It's about protecting people's right to life. That's the key of this legislation. And all the elements, which I'm happy to discuss with you, head in that direction.
Now, some people say that the government is interfering in their freedom of choice.
Yes, there are a lot of people who say that, but let's look at the reality. Addiction is not a choice. You might, as a young child, be enticed into beginning to smoke, and you very quickly get addicted. Listen to many young people who say, I wish I could stop, I wish I'd never started, and old people as well. And therein lies the problem. You start by peer pressure and all that sort of thing. You become addicted, and then your choice is removed. It's no longer a choice. You have an addiction, and your addiction demands that you feed it the drug nicotine, and you do that by smoking cigarettes. It's really very, very bad. Freedom of choice is a misnomer. Your right to clean air and your right to life is the key issue here. And it's not only smokers. It's the rights of everyone, smokers and non-smokers, to clean air and to be protected from the toxic chemicals in tobacco smoke. It's a compound of toxic chemicals. It's terrible stuff, very dangerous, and the key is it kills.
We have this as a viewer question this morning, and some of our viewers have responded, for instance, Mr. Ucko, by saying, focus on drugs and alcohol. They are more dangerous than tobacco. How would you respond to that?
Well, very simply, we don't compare evils. Tobacco is bad. It's an evil. It kills people. Drugs are illegal. They're bad. They kill people. Alcohol can kill people. We know all those things, but we need to deal with all the matters of society. We can't say, for example, child rape is a terrible, terrible crime, and then not attend to housebreakings, for example. We have to address all the evil issues. So at the moment, the Department of Health is focusing on the tobacco legislation, and we have to do that in terms of our ratification of the Framework Convention on Tobacco Control, the FCTC. We are obliged to implement the requirements of that protocol and ban tobacco smoking indoors, for example, control it outdoors. It's not banned outdoors, it's controlled. We have to hide displays at retail outlets. We have to remove branding from packaging and have standardized plain packaging with large graphic health warnings and other messages. We have to control electronic cigarettes, a great danger, and there's a lot of research to show that. All those things are a package, each one an element that assists in promoting public health.
Well, when we first introduced smoking bans in South Africa, like you can't smoke in public in certain indoors situations, like in restaurants. Restaurants started building enclaves for smokers. There was a lot of fight back from the tobacco industry at the time. I remember there was even scare tactics about a loss of advertising revenue and all of that. But we went through that. Are you confident that this next round of smoking ban in South Africa will actually be effectively implemented, Mr. Ucko?
I'm confident of two things, and the one is that the tobacco industry will fight this legislation. They have around the world, and they'll continue to do so. And they'll fight it with every muscle that they have and every rand and cent that they can muster. And they'll fight it with lies. What the tobacco industry tells you is not always the truth. For example, you mentioned advertising losses, magazines and newspapers will close down, sporting codes, when we banned advertising, will not have sponsorship and support. Well, it's not the truth. We know that not one magazine closed down because of a drop in advertising. Not one radio station closed down because of a ban on advertising of tobacco products. Job losses is one that they flout all the time. The truth is that the tobacco products, cigarettes, are made by machines. Cigarettes are not made by people. And the money that people spend on tobacco products will be spent on other products and create jobs there and create revenue from income and VAT in those areas. So all those things are a misnomer. That's the one thing I'm confident of. The second thing is I'm confident of the fact that ultimately it will be successfully implemented and protect public health. That's the goal.